What's up, you guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about getting my bachelor's degree online. I'm going to talk about my experience, pricing, how I feel about it, things I would change. I'm going to break all of it down for you guys today. I have been going to school for 4 years. I have my bachelor's degree in Correctional Program Support Services. What's funny is the entire time I was doing this course online, it said Criminal Program Support Services. But when you have to put it in a nice little fancy degree here, now it says Correctional Program Support Services. I just felt like I should share that. Now let me just talk to you guys about why I decided to start school online versus going to a campus. The reason being was 4 years ago, I could not afford to put Micah in daycare full-time while I went to university. That was number one. She was home with me for a little while after I lost my job, kind of. I was working as a freight broker at Landstar, and I interviewed at JB Hunt and I was hired. And then after I left my job at Landstar, JB Hunt called me and said, just kidding, we can't hire you because you're a felon. And it really just made me so angry because I just quit my job because you gave me an offer letter. I signed the offer letter, returned it, got drug tested, I bought new clothes for this job, like everything, right? So I was really defeated, and I remember being really upset, and I decided, you know what I'm gonna do? I don't even wanna work in transportation. That's not my passion, and my passion isn't working as a freight broker. That's not what I love to do. While I think it's really interesting and I love the problem solving and the logistics behind transportation, I think that's really cool, it's not for me. That's what Reese does, by the way, my boyfriend. But yeah, it's just not something that I love to do. That's not where my passion is. My passion is prison. So I started researching, universities, and I decided to go with the University of Phoenix. They had an amazing online portal, and I decided, let's just go for it. Let's do it. So I got financial aid, and I decided to become a student. My first impression of school online was, it was a lot. It was a lot to get used to the website. There was a lot of different things that you have to do just to prove that you are going. For example, and they have since changed this, but when I first started with the University of Phoenix, they required eight participation posts every single week of 175 words minimum. Now that might not seem like a lot, but you have to be engaging with the other students or you don't get full credit. It's the same thing as if you're not in class, you don't get that attendance credit. Like, you have to be there. That matters. So that was like, whoa, it's like a whole nother assignment. Every single week I was writing a paper and doing another assignment, whether that was a worksheet, a PowerPoint, what have you. It is a lot of work. You have to stay disciplined and dedicated for 4 years to get a bachelor's degree. It's the same online, but you have to be self-motivated. After 2 years, I graduated with my associate's degree with a concentration in psychology. And it was right at that time, I did have to take 6 months off, but it was right at that time that they were working on a bachelor program, and that was Bachelor of Science in Correctional Program Support Services. And I was so excited because I was looking, after I got my associate's degree with the University of Phoenix, I was looking to transfer out of that school and go to a different online school so that I could do something with prison, with correctional settings, social work, drug addiction, something along those lines. So I was really excited that I didn't have to transfer my credits out to another university. I can continue going to the same university that I had been going to. The workload never got easier. The workload got harder and harder and harder. And there were some days where it was like a black cloud following me around, if I'm being honest. This black cloud of work. I couldn't actually go on vacation because I'd have to take my laptop with me and do schoolwork on the beach. I did that every year for 3 years. If I went home to New York to visit my family, the laptop's coming with me, and I gotta write a paper. Everyone be quiet. Jessica's a student. And that was just really difficult for me because I want to enjoy time with my family or enjoy vacation time with my kids, and I can't because I have to work. So to have it done with, to be completely done with school is just such a huge relief. But it is a lot of work. And when I say a lot of work, please take that from someone that is a workaholic and likes doing a lot of work. So when I tell you it's a lot of work, I'm not playing. I'm not playing. It is a lot. It was a lot for me. So when I started school, I was a student for like 3 years before I started YouTube. And I just had to learn how to juggle. So I'm so glad that I can just continue working on our YouTube channels, podcasting, writing blogs. I can do everything on my own schedule. I no longer have deadlines. That is a huge relief to me. Let's talk about pricing. Now, it cost about $25,000 to get a bachelor's degree, maybe a little bit more depending on your student loans, but I'm telling you right now, it is very tempting to take the max amount of loans and have excess money. Do not do that, because you cannot file bankruptcy on student loans. You have to pay that money back. Do not take the max amount. Now, there were a couple of times where they did give me excess money and it irritated me to no end because I didn't want it. Even taking the bare minimum, there will be excess money for books or a laptop or whatever. But here's the kicker. You can get like $10,000 in excess money per semester, and then you will be fucking drowning in debt. Do not do that. And I know it can be so tempting, especially if times are hard for you right now. Don't do that, because the interest rates will eat you alive and you'll be paying off student loan debt until the day you die, because they're not gonna stop asking for that money until you're dead. And then after you die, you have to prove it, and they have to get like a death certificate. I swear to you, like, do not do that. Okay, so we got money out of the way. One downside to doing something on school, besides having to be self-disciplined and on that shit every single week, which is really hard, if for some reason they have a technology issue or the system is down, that's on you. So that is what makes me crazy. So there were a couple of times where I would wait until the last minute because I like doing things in a deadline-induced panic. Don't do that. But I would wait till the last minute, and on the last day when I'm supposed to hand it in, their site goes down, and I had to stay up until midnight talking to representatives that work on the tech side of an online college just to get a paper submitted. It's your responsibility. If there's a technological issue, it's your responsibility to get on the phone with tech support and work it out. If you don't understand something about the site, it's your responsibility to figure it out. That is something that I don't like. You can ask, but there's no guarantee that they're gonna reply to you in time. And if you're doing things in a deadline-induced panic, like me, then asking at the last minute will do you no good. So it is my best advice to get assignments done as soon as they come out. As soon as you possibly can, get the assignments done. Now, just my experience with the University of Phoenix, because that's all I can speak on, you will have an assignment every single week. You will have to read chapters every single week, write a paper every single week, plus a worksheet and or a PowerPoint presentation every single week. Your last year in your bachelor's degree program, you will work with teams, and that sucks, because you're all on different time zones and there's a team leader, and for some reason, I'm just putting it out here, for some reason, no one knows how to work a PowerPoint presentation, and that was the most frustrating thing for me, because we'd be doing slides and there'd be like 5,000 words on a slide, and then being who I am, I can't in good conscience not say something, and I'd have to be like, yo, stop it. A slide, a PowerPoint presentation is not a paper that you wrote, inserted into slides. It needs to be visually appealing. Less is more. Please don't put 5,000 words per slide. Like, you're making me crazy. So that was hard to work with people, especially people that thought it should be done one way, but you know in your heart and soul it should be done another way. That's challenging. It was also very difficult for me to hear other people's interpretation on how prison should be when they haven't gone to prison. I think that was what I struggled with the most. And at first I didn't tell people that I went to prison because it wasn't relevant to the conversation. It wasn't relevant to my participation post or the assignments itself. Eventually, as time went on and we started taking courses, you know, specifically designed to help, you know, prison counselors and all this stuff, drug addiction, I had to lead with, I am a recovering addict. This is my experience. I have been to prison. It is my experience that blah, blah, blah. Just so people could get that other perspective. And I think, I hope that they read that and thought about things differently, because I've seen a lot of like fire and brimstone posts about prison and prison reform and rehabilitation, and I'm like, oh my God, ugh, please don't work in a prison. But on the other side of that, I have seen people in the post that are compassionate and kind and had the same ideas as I did when it comes to being in prison and working in prison. So that was awesome. You just have to kind of overlook the fire and brimstone people that have no business going there. And they'll learn really quickly once, you know, they're day one in the facility. But yeah, one really positive thing about going to school online is that you can work around your schedule. You can work a full-time job and or have babies and be a student. You are going to have to stay up late or wake up really early and be dedicated to doing it. But it is possible to do all of that. I think my best advice, besides don't take out too much money, is don't sign up for something that you're not completely confident in doing. Don't go to school just to go to school. Go to school because you're passionate about something, because you really want to see this through, and this is something that you want to do. Also, I think it's important to get a degree in a specific field, something that is specific to what you want to do. You know, getting a psychology degree, while great, it is kind of vague. So there are programs where you can narrow down what kind of psychology you will want to do. You know, so my associate's degree is with a concentration in psychology, and I spent 2 years, you know, studying the basics of the human brain. But the last 2 years, my bachelor's degree program was specifically in prison. Psychology of inmates, drug addiction, rehabilitation, sex offenders. You have to take a course on that. It's very difficult to sit through as a mother, you know. Violent offenders, personality disorders. Those are the things that you were learning primarily about when your degree is in something specific like this. So the University of Phoenix, when I first started, their online portal was a little bit more confusing and it didn't look as professional. As the years have gone on, the university has changed dramatically their online portal, and now it's so much better. It's easier to understand, it looks more professional, everything is right there, and like when I first started, I would have given the University of Phoenix probably 5 out of 10 stars, but now their online portal is so much easier to use, 8 out of 10 stars now. Also, they have realized that 8 participation posts in 1 week plus all the other assignments is daunting. So my last year, I only had to write 3 participation posts. And that was like, oh, that was amazing, because again, people are not posting like good things. They're just typing a participation post just to type the post. They're not really adding to the conversation, and the university realized that and cut it back a little bit so that the conversations that we were having are more meaningful. And I have seen more people, and myself included, I'm willing to participate more when the conversation is meaningful versus everyone just kind of parroting what the last person said, you know? Another thing that I disagree with is the word count for universities. If you write a paper and the word count is 2,500 words, people are like making shit up just to get the word count, and I don't like that. I feel like I shouldn't have lost points because my word count wasn't on point when the essay itself was great. And I know when I type a good essay and I know when I type a garbage essay, but there's been times where the essay is so great, and I was always taught to not use 10 words when you can use 6. You know, so for example, regular person, the sky is blue. College student, the pigment of the sky would appear that it is in the shade of blue. They're using too many words, and I believe in writing simplistically and easy to read, and I kind of write how I talk like most people do. So, you know, while I think it's great to sound smart, I think it's better to be smart rather than sound smart. And yeah, that's like a nitpicky thing with all colleges though, is that they have these stupid assignments and you have to have the word count right. But if I write a banging essay and you deduct 20 points because the word count isn't on point, bro, why? Why would you do that? So overall, I am very happy with my experience. There are plenty of scholarships on the university site as well you can apply for. I only applied for a few and I didn't get them. So that is pretty competitive. You have to write essays for these scholarships. If you wait until the deadline to hand it in, like I did, you won't get the scholarship. If you hand in the essay like the day they announce the scholarship is running, chances are you're gonna get it. So it really is first come, first serve when it comes to scholarships in my experience from the University of Phoenix. I can't speak to everywhere, but if you are applying for a scholarship, write a meaningful essay and get it in as soon as possible. Overall though, I'm pretty pleased with my experience of the University of Phoenix, and I've already started paying off those student loans. Now, it is also important that you do your absolute best to not just pay the minimum payment, because then you're only paying interest. So make sure you're paying above the minimum payment so that you can get those student loans wiped away as soon as possible. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative and not like hella boring. I've always thought that talking about school was kind of boring, but I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I answered your questions. And if you want to see another video about it, leave me some questions in the comment section down below if I missed something, and I can do a follow-up to this video. All right, you guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.